We've made it to the middle of October, and the last day to register to vote, by the way. This is Barnstable Today for Wednesday, October 15th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford.
Today we are going to give you a close-up look at the major progress being made on the construction of the new multi-sport complex here in Hyannis. But first, our lead story is safety versus aesthetics at the Conservation Commission. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Chartrand.
The showdown between those two concerns came at last evening's meeting in regard to approving a pier float and boardwalk at a Prince Cove home off Baxter's Neck Road.
One more comment. I don't want to cast a negative vote to this. But I really feel that a handrail is not inappropriate here. I think that you're dealing with a long walk. We're dealing with, I know for myself, I wish I could say I could walk the walk and talk the talk, but I can't. So I think a handrail is not an inappropriate consideration, and I don't know how the rest, I realize there's a tradition or custom for not doing it, and I'm not being paid by Dr. Lehman either. But I think it's a valuable thing to consider in this case.
It is something to consider. I mean, this is a long boardwalk, and granted, people in our age group, you know, long walks and narrow boardwalks sometimes can be a problem. But we'll go with what the commission wants here, and so far it appears the commission wants not to have any handrails. And again, if it's a safety hazard, the building commission is going to require it. So.
For a little bit of background, this was a very long, hard-fought sort of issue, in years past. I think John and I are the only people here who sat through all, hearing after hearing after hearing, where the aesthetics of long boardwalks. I mean, there would be people who would be objecting to the dock based on the boardwalk itself. Forget about. Because of the aesthetic contaminations of vistas and stuff. And our, answer to that was, people have a right to access, their water, and, a boardwalk can be environmentally sound and doesn't have to be visually, intrusive. And, we came up with a way to do it. And, I'd rather not revisit that all over again.
Well, someday you may get arthritis too, and your opinion may change.
Yeah. Well,
can I
yes.
Perhaps throw out a little compromise?
A temporary handrail for the duration of my elderly use of my dock and pier someday, like that'll ever happen.
Right. This material comes in 4 and 3 foot widths. If we went to a 3 foot width, could we have a handrail on one side?
I'd prefer the 4 foot width.
4 foot width, no handrail.
No, I think it's, I think it's a good thing to have is a handrail at least on one side. You get some way to balance yourself.
Pete?
We've got this grading now that essentially allows us to put the deck close to the salt marsh without having unacceptable shading. So that's what Scott's talking about. The technology exists out there, and to bring it down now.
Which we have.
Good. 4 foot is a good wide length. I'm with Scott. I don't want to revisit this unless it's, I think that the big long rails going through the marsh is an aesthetic issue that some people do not find very nostalgic or fitting. So I'm staying with Scott on this. I mean, if you want to push real hard with a post rail and maybe some rope in between, for a safety thing, well, maybe a Tuesday morning or something can do with that. But I'd like to go with what we have on board here.
That project did get the go-ahead from the Conservation Commission, however, without the handrail.
Meanwhile, it was a big event taking place yesterday in Hyannis, right next to the Kennedy skating rink on Bierce's Way. Town
officials, along with project manager John Juros, got reporters up to speed on the construction of the town's 105,000 square foot multi-sport complex.
The facility is going up on schedule, and the 2 ice rinks, basketball court, teen center, and much more should be ready for an opening next August.
Let me explain briefly, because I know everyone's got a busy schedule, about the project. The project is crudely a $25 million project, both hard and soft costs. We started construction in February. We're moving along at a good pace right now. Let me explain where we are. We have awarded the prime contract to J.K. Scanlon Company. They're doing a terrific job. Site's well mobilized, well secured, looks good, well organized. The project itself, as some of you are well aware, we have expanded the project now such that we now took over the properties that were on Stevens Street. And you'll find by taking over those properties along Stevens Street and, of course, all along Bierce's Way and Bassett Lane, we literally have created a park-like atmosphere, and you'll see that coming up in the spring, where from the elementary school, East Elementary School, all the way down and around the corner, it's going to become a really nicely landscaped, green environment with a meandering sidewalk, bicycle trail that runs along the street, not tight to the curb now, but moving around, and all the way down Stevens Street. So it's going to become a big chunk of green open space, and a lot of the berming that's been done around the parking lot have been set up such that they will shield the parking from the street. So it'll nestle right into the environment here. A terrific asset, which you haven't seen yet, is the roundabout itself and the improvements to Bierce's Lane and Bassett. You're going to see that whole area really be spruced up. To have a nice organizing roundabout here, which is going to work well for an entrance onto the site. It's hard to envision all that right now because the existing rink building is sitting here and is crowding to the street. When that all comes down, this entire area is going to open up. And you're going to have lots of trees in there, ample parking. It's going to be a real asset to the community. In order to continue with that approach, the building has been redesigned such that now we have two rinks, which we had originally in the project, and we have a larger gymnasium on the front corner of the project, which has the elevated walking track that goes around it. And that elevation, right over here, you can see the gymnasium piece, and then some small articulation of spaces in here. From our point of view, it's reminiscent of Main Street, where you have a series of small units and different roof lines that come along the street so that it gets much more pedestrian scale along the street. And we have the sloped roofs on the front, so the scale of the building is cut down. Rinks are large spaces, two-story spaces. Those are nestled down and are a level below street level, so that the mass of that building is really compressed into the ground.
Now we'll have it going year-round, and we're not turning down the kids that want to also skate. We close down the facility, and it's like, well, we have no place you have to go skate down Cape or off Cape or wherever, but you can't skate here because we're closed. But we're still offering services, so we've been a balancing act. Now we can offer it to all the time.
The town expects to reap extra revenue from hockey tournaments and other sporting events that may be lured into the town by the new multi-sports complex.
Meanwhile, in the weather picture, mostly cloudy tonight with a low of about 50. Then tomorrow, some morning sunshine, followed by increasing clouds with light southwest winds and highs up into the mid-60s.
For meetings here this evening, the ZBA meets in the hearing room at 7 p.m. and the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District will meet at 7 p.m. in the School Administration Building.
Also this evening, it's the Shellfish Committee gathering in the MEA Conference Room off Finney's Lane at 7. And of course, tomorrow evening in the hearing room, it's the Town Council kicking off at 7.
Just a reminder to check out the town's website for the town manager's new e-newsletter. Just follow the link on the home page.
On the town's sports front, the Recreation Department's pickup volleyball program on Wednesday evening starting this evening at 6:30 at the Horseman Charter School in Marston's Mills.
As Mark mentioned at the top of the program, tonight is the last night to register to vote. The town clerk office is staying open until 8 p.m. to help with the last-minute folks. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Chartrand.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.